Okay? Some horrible crime that happened somewhere far away, it's kind of sad, even if it happened across town. But if it's no one you know and you're not directly involved, don't watch it 24 hours a day on the news. Oh, what happened? But people are so obsessed, they talk about this abduction in Aruba. And I say, look, that is very sad, it's very unfortunate. But can you tell me what's going on in your life? Can you tell me what? See, they constantly want to fill the void with this other information. Remember I talked about death by accumulation? That it bears no relevance. It's just a drama. The only difference is it's not fiction. It's on the news instead of a soap opera or a movie. But they're filling their life with irrelevant information. They're filling their life with things they can't influence or control. And they're yapping about it. And it's taking their thought life and it's taking their word life. So then they wonder why they manifest nothing. So then they say, well, I'm doing the best I can. No, you're not doing the best you can. If you were doing the best you can, then you'd be able to talk to me about exactly what's going on. You know what's real interesting? I was talking about homeschoolers, public schoolers, and I was asked to speak at a homeschooling convention one time on self-defense. Amazingly, they just called me up and said, come on down. Okay, sure, I'd love to talk to you. You got stay-at-home moms, dad is gone, he's in the workplace, they need the protector, okay? They need to know how to protect themselves, the protector's out. What's interesting is this, I noticed this. I'll go meet some 16-year-old kids from a public school and hear them talking to each other. Dude, do you play Voltron? Do you play Nintendo? Dude, this, that chick, Britney Spears, this, that, the other. Now, 16-year-old homeschooling kid, he'll sit down between me and another adult and come in, jump right in, and be up to speed. We're talking about the founding fathers. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about economics. We're talking about real estate investment. And you know what? He is right there. And he's like 15 years old. And I see the kids like that, and I go, what a difference between dude talk, hey, what's up? And a guy who can keep pace at a young age, still in their teens. That's phenomenal. Now, how to get on that? Focus on what you can control. By the way, speaking of Aruba, I have never seen a crime on the news. I'll check foxnews.com just once daily. Keep abreast of what's going on. That's all I need. Why should I get a newspaper every day? That's not a good use of my time. Is that going to bring me down or empower me? Remember we talked about empowering vision? Am I going to be empowered by constantly getting all this bad news? I know it exists. I'm not in denial. But shouldn't I be focused on creating better news, creating positive manifestations in my own life and in the lives of my community? So I don't get all this news every day. News on television all day. News on the radio when you're driving to and from work. Reading the newspaper every day. I just hit it once a day and I noticed there has never been a crime that I have seen involving rape or abduction or kidnapping that couldn't have been prevented applying the information that we teach in Defending Home and Family. You should check that DVD out. If you're concerned if things like this bother you, it shows you how to guarantee your child will never be abducted, how to guarantee that, it's up to you to guarantee it, of course, by applying and living smart. But I have never seen one yet that couldn't have been prevented applying what I teach in Defending Home and Family DVD, including securing your home on a small budget, preventing people from getting your medical and financial information, medical and financial privacy, preventing stalkers, shopping safety, auto safety, travel safety. I mean, it is just all there, man. That baby is packed. It's a single DVD of 3 hours. Most DVDs are about 45 minutes to an hour when they're instructional DVDs. This single DVD is 3 hours. I mean, it is packed, baby. That just popped into my head about Aruba. See, we're all over the place, but it's all relative, isn't it? So, focus on what you can control. You want to melt fat like butter in a microwave? Air. Activity. Intake. Rest. Now always consult your doctor before beginning any exercise program, okay? Okay, great. Now let me give you my opinion. All right. Melt fat like butter in a microwave. Activity. You're fat? You've been fat forever? No problem. What's the first thing we need to change? Your thinking, the mind. When we change the mind, we change everything. If you're driving from Los Angeles to New York City, and all of a sudden, here's LA, here's New York. It's not quite accurate. There's America. Here's LA here, how's that? There we go. LA, New York. Here's San Francisco up here, Northern California, okay? Now, you're in your car, driving towards New York. Let's say you decide you want to go to San Francisco. You get off on the exit, you turn around and head this way. When did you get to San Francisco? Here? No. When you decided. The moment of decision is when you got there. Everything else was just mechanical. But it was here, in this area, you decided, you changed your mind. That happened before anything, before you hit the turn signal, before you turned the car and got off the off-ramp, looked at the map, went another direction. First came the decision, and it was instant. Instantly, right now. So the only way that you will ever lose weight, if you decide right now, and then you change your activity, you get more active, don't you? But what happens is you're eating on a memory. You're an automaton, primitive. Remember we talked about that? So you're primitively just eating creatures of habit, eaters of habit. You snap out of your programming instantly, first with decision. You decide. And then, error. Activity. Being active, moving. If you never work out, you start with walking. Talk to your doctor first, of course, and I really do mean that. I don't know your health situation. Only you do. So, talk to your doctor before you begin any exercise program. Now, you take activity. You've decided. You want to melt fat. No problem. So you take activity, and then you do your intake. Make a list. Take a notebook. Write 1, 2, 3. Divide a page into thirds. Okay? And write down everything you eat from when you wake up. And after a couple of days, you'll see the kind of crap you're eating, and you'll change. Have more protein. Why is the Atkins diet such a huge success? Because, by golly, it works. Just shop the edges of the grocery store. Healthy food. And, of course, get rest. Okay? It's pretty simple. You can eat steak, eggs, just get activity and sweat and move and change your mind and change your breathing and your thinking. I mean, I proved it in another DVD we have called Instant Fitness. I did it. And you see before and after pictures, the whole thing. I purposely got fat as I could and out of shape as I could and did it instantly. There's a lot more to it, and we're just touching on it here. But that's all you need to know. You decide right now, and it's done. It's done. I'm never going back. I'll never do this again. Where's your determination, warrior? You just decide, and that's it. That's it. It's done. In that moment of decision, you're going here to obesity land, and all of a sudden you said, you know what? I'm going here. That's it. You simply decide. This is the Tao, not Tao, Tao, and it means way. The way to get it done. When you eat, you're eating with emotion. Remember how I said make sure that any appeal to action isn't appealing to your emotion? Well, any appeal, any impulse that comes from inside, which is emotionally driven. Listen to this. This is the key right here, right now. When you reach for food, when you decide to go to the fridge or go to the cupboard and reach for some food, just ask this question right now. Am I being driven by emotion? Stop. Am I really hungry? No, not really. I just felt like eating. It's a feeling. Feelings are emotion. I'm going to do jumping jacks instead. That's it right there. I just showed you how to stop it. Just ask if you're being driven by emotion. See how something I was explaining in another area can apply to this area? Boom. You'd be surprised how rapidly you can lose weight. Another thing I never do, I never step on a scale. Just look in a mirror. What are you going to step on a scale? Oh, I weigh this much, but you look in the mirror, you got all this pork, okay? Just look in the mirror, that's it. It's so simple. You don't need to talk about it, you don't need to think about it. You just need to ask yourself the question whenever you're reaching for intake, whenever you're about to put something in your mouth. Whoa, hold on a minute. Is this emotionally driven? Oh, it is. Oh, I better not do that. That's it, you're done. That's decision. That is Makoto. Remember? Purity of purpose. Stainless steel mind. Now, Tao, meaning way or of. Kung Fu. Remember how I explained that? Kung Fu is, they're doing it in the optimum way. Okay? I know Kung Fu is probably referred to as fighting, but Kung Fu really means like, he's the way, the Tao of golfing for Tiger Woods. You see what I'm saying? Bruce Lee said the principle of Kung Fu is not a thing that can be learned like a science by fact-finding and instructions and facts. It has to grow spontaneously like a flower in a mind free from emotions and desires. The core of this principle of Kung Fu is Tao, the spontaneity of the universe. The word Tao has no exact equivalent in the English language. I use the word truth for it. The truth behind Kung Fu. The truth that every Kung Fu practitioner should follow. Okay? So, the Tao, the way, or the truth, right? In other words, Tao of... Well, how do you like that? We'll just keep moving, we don't need that. The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. What does that mean? The truth about the intercepting fist. How about that? Does that make sense? The truth of the intercepting fist. How do you stop a train? Hey? See, Bruce had a quest, a purpose. He had a quest for purpose in life. He knew that it was a constant process of evolving. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dead. He wanted to experience life with every nerve exposed, fully in touch with his intuition and cerebral senses. That's where I want you to be. I want you to think about water or rain, okay? When you come up to a problem or any change you want to make in life, okay? And you can start rhythm, right? But imagine this. You see that? It's like, right? And I'm taking it easy here. Don't need a hole in the wall. So the idea of a constant that's what it's about, right there. Fully in touch with your intuition and all of your cerebral senses. Right. Remember I talked about clean slate, that boom, that field clear, okay? He delved deeply within himself to define and refine his own philosophy of life. Remember he said all knowledge is self-knowledge. Getting back to Bruce Lee because you're familiar with him. You understand him, okay? And that, well, you might not entirely understand, but you've heard of him. You know about him. And he was one of the more recent figures that I can say actually achieved it. That state of awareness, that state of martial mastery. He was fascinated with knowing how the thinking process of an individual propels him to actualize his full potential in a superior way, and he was determined to learn about that process within his own self. Okay? He focused so intensely on the task in his mind that he became absolutely centered while being filled with a blazing awareness of everything that went on around him. And that's how you can be just dynamic. You can stand in a room and understand the whole world when you understand the processes that I've explained to you. Tao meaning the way of nature, or the creative force governing the universe. So the term Jeet Kune Do, written in the Chinese language, would actually mean the intercepting fist that follows the principles of the way of nature. Lao Tzu, well, I can't write it now, can I, with our board down? Okay, Lao-Tzu. He wrote a book called the I Ching, or the Book of Changes. It's another one that you need to have, okay? I'm going to read you Lao Tzu. He said, Tao is that from which all things in the universe are created. Another way of saying that would be truth is that from which all things in the universe are created. The process by which all things are created is produced by this energy, or qi, which originates from Tao. This energy is divided into two aspects, yin and yang. And remember how we were talking about that before? And how it totally applies, and it's circular, and it's moving, and one is in the other? Okay, all things in the universe have yin energy and yang energy. When yin and yang energies merge together, they produce a state of harmony. And that is the simplicity and the indivisibility. You stand undivided. A house divided shall fall. If you are a united person and you are congruent in everything you do, will, thought, action, all become one. Okay? And this is the zone. See? If you are divided, if you are divisible, you're going to fall. This is the secret key of momental mastery. I mean, that's it. And you've got it. Right now, I mean, it is yours. It's already there. Remember earlier how I said mind control and the machinations of automation is already there? It's already there. It's already there, so why not use it deliberately?